Have you ever wondered how American heiresses marrying European aristocrats shaped history and society? These transatlantic alliances have captured our imaginations from the Gilded Age to the modern era. They are tales of love, affluence, and social standing, but have even greater significance. Today, we'll explore the rise of these fascinating unions, complexities, and enduring impact. We'll uncover the stories of powerful women, political legacies, and the changing dynamics of love and ambition. Let's step into the world of dollar princesses and British aristocrats, where love, wealth, and social status are intertwined. The Gilded Age of the 1870s was a transformative period in American history. It was a time of remarkable economic growth and prosperity following the Civil War's aftermath. The United States embarked on a journey of rebuilding and expansion, with flourishing industries such as railroads, steel, and oil. The accumulation of wealth during this era had a significant impact on reshaping American society. However, like a coin with two sides, the Gilded Age had its hidden complexities. While some individuals amassed immense fortunes through aggressive business practices, they became known as robber barons. The wealth gap between the elite and the rest of society widened, leading to widespread economic disparities. Surprisingly, this era also ushered in new opportunities for women. As the economy expanded, more women entered the workforce, assuming roles in factories, offices, and stores. Some ventured into entrepreneurship, while others pursued professional careers in medicine and law. The Gilded Age was characterized by change and complexity, especially regarding gender roles. As women's incomes increased, their financial impact also grew. They started investing and saving, which significantly changed their financial roles. One notable woman who did this was Hetty Green, the Witch of Wall Street. She made a name for herself as an investor and amassed a fortune of over $100 million, mainly through investments in railroads and businesses. Hetty Green's success demonstrated the changing landscape of women's financial empowerment. During the Gilded Age in 1872, a sophisticated social atmosphere developed. Affluent American families strived for social status by mimicking the European nobility. Their pursuit of this goal involved participating in the social circuit, which consisted of extravagant balls and events that allowed them to display their wealth, prestige, and relationships. During this transformative period, women significantly influenced the social landscape. They didn't just attend grand events, they organized and hosted them while selecting the guest lists. This allowed them to exercise their power and improve their social standing, highlighting their importance in this era. In 1874, Jenny Jerome emerged as an iconic figure of the Gilded Age. A brilliant and affluent American, she moved boldly to London, quickly becoming a prominent figure within the social circuit. Her marriage to Lord Randolph Churchill, a British aristocrat, captured global attention. This historic union not only challenged prevailing gender norms, but also left an indelible mark on history. Jenny Jerome's marriage to Lord Randolph Churchill transcended mere social ascension. It was a trailblazing endeavour characterised by her advocacy for women's rights and her promotion of American interests in the British aristocracy. She navigated her newfound position with grace and intelligence, becoming not just a figure in society, but a catalyst for change in a world still grappling with rigid gender roles. By 1879, American ambitions had shifted. The nation's elite became enamored with European titles to legitimize their wealth and status. Wealthy American women began marrying European aristocrats, while others sought to acquire titles for themselves or their descendants. Pursuing European titles symbolized a desire for acceptance within the European aristocracy, revealing a certain insecurity among the American elite regarding their place in the world. The union of Frances Ellen Work and James Roche, 3rd Baron Fermoy, in 1880, exemplified the typical transatlantic alliance of the Gilded Age. Frances Ellen Work, a wealthy American heiress from the luxurious setting of New York City, married James Roche, who represented the British aristocracy. The union between Frances Work and the Roche family was more than just a simple transaction. It had significant implications for both individuals. Frances Work was financially savvy and used her wealth to help her husband's struggling estate. The Roche family had been burdened with debts for many generations, and Frances Work's fortune was instrumental in saving the estate from financial collapse. Her involvement preserved the family's legacy and demonstrated such unions' practical and enduring nature. In 1882, the trend of cash for titles gained popularity. This practice involved American heiresses marrying British aristocrats to help the struggling British nobility overcome financial difficulties due to industrialization and the declining profitability of agriculture. Simultaneously, American women sought ways to enhance their social status and gain acceptance into European aristocratic circles. These unions were inherently mutually beneficial. British aristocrats obtained much-needed financial stability, while American women ascended to coveted titles and elevated social positions. These alliances epitomized the pragmatic exchange of wealth and status, echoing the evolving dynamics of the Gilded Age. The media was pivotal in shaping perceptions of transatlantic alliances during the 1880s. These unions were regarded as significant events, emblematic of the growing wealth and influence of the United States. Women like Frances Work understood the power of the press and strategically harnessed its influence to promote their interests. These marriages were newsworthy not only for their financial implications, but also for their social and cultural significance. American heiresses who married into British nobility became fascinating subjects, and the public closely examined their lives and decisions. Frances Work and her contemporaries recognized the allure of this public intrigue and adeptly leveraged the media to advance their agendas. By 1889, transatlantic alliances had ushered in a new era of social mobility for American families. Women who married British aristocrats gained access to the upper echelons of high society. Within these privileged circles, they mingled with other influential individuals, fostering networks that extended their influence far beyond their initial social standing. Furthermore, women skillfully employed their newly acquired titles to promote their personal business interests and philanthropic endeavors. An exemplary case in point was Consuelo Vanderbilt, daughter of William Henry Vanderbilt, one of America's wealthiest men. In 1895, her marriage to the Duke of Marlborough bestowed upon her the title of Duchess of Marlborough, catapulting her into the uppermost echelons of global society. Consuelo Vanderbilt harnessed her social position to advocate for American culture and values, utilizing her immense wealth to support various philanthropic causes, including the arts and education. In 1892, the London social season emerged as a prominent fixture in the lives of the wealthy and elite. Typically spanning from May to July, this period served as an annual gathering for the privileged, featuring a calendar filled with opulent events such as balls, parties and races. The London social season was more than just a series of social gatherings. It was a meticulously orchestrated dance of high society. During the London social season, women played important roles by organising and hosting events, while adhering to strict etiquette and dress codes. They were expected to embody refinement and grace, and their main objective was to find suitable marriages for young women of their social class. The pressure to secure such unions was intense, with families having significant influence. Marriage became a strategic undertaking, where young women navigated societal expectations and personal desires. In 1895, the transatlantic landscape saw a surge in financial rescues due to the increased wealth of America. This helped British aristocrats face financial difficulties from industrialization and the decline in agricultural profits. They found comfort in the form of American heiresses. These women from across the Atlantic sought ways to ascend the echelons of social status and gain acceptance within the European aristocracy. A symbiotic relationship emerged as American heiresses married British aristocrats in exchange for coveted titles and the accompanying social prestige. The financial stability these unions provided was a lifeline for the British nobility, while American women found the social status they so ardently desired. However, by 1897, not all transatlantic alliances had proved successful or harmonious. Some marriages descended into public controversies and ultimately culminated in divorce. In such cases, women often bore the brunt of societal judgment, unfairly shouldering blame for the marital dissolution. A striking illustration of a scandalous divorce was the tumultuous separation of Consuelo Vanderbilt and the Duke of Marlborough. Consuelo, an American heiress, entered into marriage with the Duke in 1895. Their union was fraught with unhappiness from its inception, ultimately leading to Consuelo's decision to file for divorce in 1906. The divorce proceedings received extensive media coverage, and Consuelo Vanderbilt was in the harsh glare of public scrutiny. Critics questioned her choice and criticized her for ending the marriage. She remained steadfast in her resolve to live life on her terms and refused to conform to expectations set by others. By 1899, the phenomenon of transatlantic alliances had ushered in transformative societal changes on both sides of the Atlantic. These unions were pivotal in dismantling age-old social barriers, promoting greater understanding between American and British cultures, and fostering a sense of shared identity. Moreover, they precipitated shifts in the roles and expectations of women. American women who married British aristocrats often emerged as more independent and outspoken than their British counterparts. They were unafraid to pursue careers and engage in public life, forging new paths for women in society. In 1900, the world bore witness to one of the most highly publicized transatlantic alliances of the 20th century, the marriage of Consuelo Vanderbilt to the Duke of Marlborough. This extravagant union joined an American heiress with a British aristocrat in a lavish ceremony that captured the imagination of the media and the public alike. But behind all the glitter and glamour, Consuelo Vanderbilt's marriage was far from happy. Despite her fancy title, she was trapped in a troubled relationship right from the start. It got so bad that in 1906, she did something quite bold for her time. She asked for a divorce. What made it even more remarkable was that she openly talked about the mistreatment she had suffered from her husband. It was a courageous move that challenged the norms of her era. In an era when such revelations were considered scandalous, Consuelo Vanderbilt's public statements shattered the silence surrounding domestic violence and the predicaments women trapped in unhappy unions faced. Her courage in shedding light on these issues not only brought attention to her plight, but also paved the way for greater awareness of the challenges faced by women in similar circumstances. By 1905, transatlantic alliances had begun to yield their political legacies. A striking example was Winston Churchill, who had become the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom during World War II. He was the son of the American heiress Jenny Jerome, and his upbringing and connections on both sides of the Atlantic played a pivotal role in shaping his political career. Women who entered into marriages with British aristocrats also embarked on the journey into political circles. Consuelo Vanderbilt, for instance, used her newfound position to become a vocal advocate for women's suffrage, championing the cause of gender equality. She harnessed her connections to further American interests in the United Kingdom, forging a path for women to participate in politics and actively advocate for their rights. As the calendar turned to 1910, the trend of transatlantic alliances began to wane. The rise of women's suffrage movements, which granted women the freedom to pursue social status and influence outside of marriage, contributed to this shift. Women were no longer as dependent on marriage as the sole means of achieving social standing. Furthermore, nationalism swept the United States and Europe in the early 20th century. People increasingly took pride in their national identities, and the allure of marrying foreigners began to diminish. The world was changing, and the focus shifted from international unions to a renewed sense of national unity and pride. The outbreak of World War I in 1914 had a profound impact on transatlantic alliances. The war altered social priorities as the world grappled with the devastating conflict. During this tumultuous time, the idea of marrying foreigners became less appealing. People were preoccupied with the demands of the war effort, and the prospect of international marriages lost its luster. World War I also marked a transformative period for women. They assumed new societal roles, working in factories, volunteering in hospitals, and even serving in the military. These experiences broadened societal perspectives on women's capabilities, leading to a shift away from viewing them as mere objects to be bought and sold in international marriages. The aftermath of World War I brought about a seismic shift in the economic landscape, reshaping the dynamics of transatlantic alliances. The war had exacted a devastating toll on the European economy, plunging many British aristocrats into dire financial straits. Consequently, American heiresses began to view British aristocrats as less appealing spouses. The once guaranteed financial security and social status they offered were no longer assured, leading to a decline in such unions. Fast forward to the 1950s, and the legacy of the dollar princesses continued to capture the public's imagination. These women, symbolic of the American dream, personified the growing wealth and influence of the United States. They challenged traditional social norms, blazing a trail towards greater gender equality. Their journeys from American wealth to British aristocracy embodied women's evolving societal roles and aspirations. As we moved into the 21st century, the concept of dollar princesses found a place in popular culture. Books, films, and TV series delved into their narratives, shedding light on the complexities of these unions. Notable examples included Edith Wharton's novel The Buccaneers, the 1949 film The Heiress, and the 2000 film The Golden Bowl, all of which explored the lives of American heiresses marrying into British aristocracy. TV series like Downton Abbey and The Crown also featured characters embodying the spirit of dollar princesses, providing insight into their challenges and motivations. While these portrayals in popular culture often cast dollar princesses in a critical light, highlighting materialism and opportunism, they also revealed the nuanced nature of their choices and the societal pressures that shaped their decisions. In the modern era, from 2010 to 2023, we witnessed contemporary examples of dollar princesses marrying relatively less affluent British aristocrats. These unions attracted significant media attention and public scrutiny. Notable instances included Kimberly Guilfoyle, an American attorney and former Fox News personality, marrying Donald Trump Jr., the son of former US President Donald Trump. Meghan Markle, an American actress, entered into marriage with Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, bringing her unique background into the British royal family. Amerle Clooney, a British Lebanese barrister and human rights activist, married George Clooney, a prominent American actor and filmmaker. These marriages ignited debates about the motives behind such unions and their societal implications. As of 2023, modern perspectives on transatlantic alliances are multifaceted and intricate. Some perceive them as symbolic of the globalization of the world, fostering cultural exchange and international cooperation. However, others view these unions as cultural imperialism, raising concerns about preserving cultural identities and potential economic consequences for the United States and the United Kingdom. Critics argue that transatlantic alliances may lead to a loss of cultural identity and a drain on financial resources as wealth and assets are transferred across borders. Conversely, proponents contend that such alliances can promote cultural understanding and economic collaboration, enhance international relations, and contribute positively to the broader global landscape. As we end this fascinating journey exploring the complex world of transatlantic alliances, it's evident that these partnerships have had a lasting impact on history, culture, and gender relations. From the Gilded Age to today, American heiresses and British aristocrats have linked their destinies, moulding society in unforeseen ways. But the story doesn't end here. It continues evolving each day. The legacy of these alliances lives on, sparking conversations about love, ambition, and the complex interplay of wealth and status. And now we'd like to see you in the comments. How do you feel about the idea of individuals seeking social status through marriage? Do you think it's a common practice in the contemporary society? What are your thoughts on these unions? Let us know in the comments, and we can't wait to hear from you.